Everyone, welcome back to Filomena Jack Studio, vlog number 12, I believe. I'm creating this video because right now I'm on an artist high and I wanted to share it with you. For those of you who don't know me very well, I have a fine art degree in photography, and even though right now I'm painting a whole lot, photography still takes up a big part of my heart and just images in general. And I worked with the Southern Tier Library System for about the last year to produce a body of work of all of their libraries. There's 48 libraries in their 5-county system, in really large counties throughout western New York. So I traveled to each of the libraries and I did some photos. I took about 1,000 pictures total and whittled that down to 75. And I hung them yesterday. I had them printed by Perfect Posters in Minnesota, and they were fantastic. I strongly suggest using them. And it just felt good to see them all together and to have, what you have in your mind actually happen in 3D in real life. It was great. So I hung those yesterday, and I just felt great. And I felt fulfilled as an artist, or I feel fulfilled as an artist, and I just wanted to share that with you. And I wanted to talk about times when I haven't felt as positive or energized. For the longest time, I've wanted to paint. And maybe it was in art school that I had some professors who just maybe didn't enlight in me that I had the ability to paint. I was so bad at figure drawing 1 and 2 that the professor asked me if I was dyslexic. See? I can't even say it. Because granted, anytime the model was doing this, I would somehow draw that. So I understand why he was asking me that, but I just never got the impression from myself or from my professors that, yes, you should just keep trying and you'll do better. Didn't matter. I was a photo geek anyway. I love the combination of the science of photography and the magic of the images coming up in the darkroom. But anyway, I wanted to share with you this experience I had a number of years ago when I still thought I couldn't paint. I set out some cheapo acrylic paints in the forest on a little table, and I had some brushes, and I had these canvases lying around, and I just was paralyzed. I thought, you can't paint. You don't know what you're doing. You're not going to make anything that looks good. And I wasn't trying to make these for a gift. I wasn't trying to make money off of them. It was just an exercise for myself, and I talked myself out of it almost. But I forced myself to make some marks on the canvases. And I keep them around because they remind me. So here's what I came up with. Right? Some of you could say, well, my 4-year-old could do that. Granted, that's great. But the fact is, I got over my paralysis and made marks on the canvas, and that slowly has turned into these paintings that I'm now creating that I really am proud of. Not all of them. It's still an editing process, but I'm proud of them. And some people are reacting well to them, People are buying them and asking me to paint specific things for them. Oh, which leads to the second part of my artist high yesterday. I delivered that guitar. I finished it. I don't know if you saw some of my previous videos. Check them out. I was commissioned to paint a guitar, and I was careful to make sure the guitar wasn't, $1 million guitar and then some crazy girl paints over it. No, I did not do that. I did some research first. And they loved the painting, the guitar. At least that's what they told me, and I believe them. I'm choosing to believe them. And it was, again, fulfilling. And, I made some money, and that money goes in the bank so that I can buy more supplies and pay for entry fees to get into other art shows. And it's just a great day, and I hope that you have a great day. And don't worry if you're feeling like you can't, because you probably can. I teach a lot of, and have taught a lot of classes, and I'll always hear people say, oh, my mother told me I don't sew very well, I can't sew a straight line, or kids will come into classes and just be really negative. And I'll ask them, I'll say, okay, raise your hand if you take a dance class. Raise your hand if you take some sort of sports class or in some sort of sports club. And I asked them, were you, the first time somebody handed you a basketball, did you know what the heck you were doing? No. The first time you were in dance class, did you get your positioning perfectly and understand why the music was important? No, but over time, you get it. And it's just, you gotta keep going. So I am putting this video out as a reminder to you and a reminder to myself for when I'm not riding the artist high that I just gotta keep going, and you just gotta keep going. Okay, positive rant over. I'd also like to talk about, I'm listening to James and the Giant Peach by Mr. Dahl, and I've seen the movie a number of times, and the audiobook is great. It's play acted, and there are sound effects, water splashing, and different things. I got it free, audiobook.